On my way back from my facility in Connecticut, on my way to New York, and you might notice, cut my wrist really good today. I'm trying to push this material into my car so that I can close my trunk. Probably have about 800 pounds of material in the back right now. And I have to pick up my kids by 5. I will be back to my facility in New York at 4:30, unload, and then go get my kids. It has been one of those days that you just can't imagine. So 2 people didn't show up to work today. This is a continual issue that I deal with on a regular basis. And one machine was giving me a really hard time. The heaters looked like they were out. So I tested the voltage on the heaters, no voltage, no current. Went and pulled the fuse. The fuse was really hot. And the fuse, so I switched the fuse, put the fuse in, thinking that's it. Usually that's what it is. Put a new fuse in, still doing the same thing. I turned the heat down so that I wasn't overpowering the system. And then I was like, so it's 4 heaters, 2, I think they're in parallel, 2 in parallel, and those 2 in series, those 2 banks in series. So the other bank on the other side of the machine that's connected to these, it looked like there was a short. There was a little black where on the ceramic insulators, where it looked like the inside wire may have touched the back of the heater box, which is metal, and shorted. So I was like, okay, great. I'll turn everything back off again and pull the fuse again. So hot. I set it down, tell my guy, I'm like, it's hot. He goes and touches it. He's like, ow, it's hot. I go, yeah, it's hot. Anyway, I test the fuse. Fuse is still good. Put it back in. I have voltage at one, no voltage or current at the other. For some reason, my current is really low on everything. I don't know if it's my fluke, and like if it's a fluke, that is a damn fluke. Huh? But I do. One of my favorite sayings right now is, "Ooh, I like alternating current." But honestly, I really don't like electrical at all, and this is what I have to play with all day. So at this point, I look at everything. The connections are strong, but there is a ton of heat at that at the where the fuse holder is. Not sure why that is, but when I did take a picture to look inside the fuse holders, I can't really look in on the angle. Nothing really looks bad, but I did notice that the fuse holders are for 10 amp fuses, and all the ones I ever took out or put back in were 15 amps. Not happy. So we're running, overpower on this system, and we have been for a long time. I am trying to get this whole system reworked. Prior to me, it had been modified, and I've been working around the modifications for a long time, but there is a large investment in order to get them back to factory standard. And I've been doing that slowly over time. So this was just a new revelation as of today. In my other machine, one of the heater banks was reading about 400 degrees Fahrenheit over what it should be. So the setting was at about 1200 degrees Fahrenheit, and it's reading 1600 and going up. And I'm like, okay, shut it down, right? Look in the back at the heaters. That bank of heaters is not glowing, and our parts weren't forming in that area, so I knew it wasn't heating. When I went and looked inside the control panel, I see SSR3, and I'm like, oh, what is that? Solid state relay. Took me a minute. my brain isn't working very well today. Okay, so solid state relay. They have a 24 volt input on the one side and 480 coming out. Well, check that one. 480 is coming out, and the 24 volt signal is 0. I checked the ones next to it. Clearly that's not what it's supposed to be. And when the solid state relay is working, the red light comes on, right? And it's like a duty cycle. It comes on and then goes back off, comes on, goes back off. So check the other ones. When the light comes on, 480 volts is there, then it goes back to 0 when the light goes off. Same thing with the 24 volt signal. So clearly the input for the thermocouple is telling the solid state relay that it does not need to be on because it's already at, well, above temperature in this case, right? So next step is to go to the wiring schematics, which again, I'm a mechanical engineer, but it always seems that I'm doing electrical work. I don't know how this happens. But here we go. So I pull out the electrical schematics, and by the way, I'm getting damn good at reading them. I'm very proud of myself. And find the solid state relay, look at the wires going, where they're going to, and they're going to 2 different inputs on PLC 1. So test those inputs, they're at 0, test the ones next to it, which I know are working, and I can see that they have little red lights on the PLC, and test those to ground. I'm assuming that's how I do it. Worked. So, oh, and ground is green. Easy peasy, right? Get 24 volt signals on the ones that are working. On the one that's not working, bank number 3, it is 0. So something else is going on. I had to leave to get back in time. I left my electrician there working on both of those issues. On the other machine with the heaters, with the heater issue, with the fuse, he said that one of the legs coming into the machine is off. So maybe there's an issue there, or maybe there's an input issue into the building. I don't really know. And prior to that, I kept having a motor starter trip, and that was for a blower. And I'm like, a blower? I mean, like, that doesn't draw much. I don't understand what's going on here. So tested inside the control panel for that. On the motor starter, there's no issues. Like, voltage and current seems to be correct and in line and under current for what the blower and the motor controller or motor starter are rated for. Looks fine. Kept tripping. I was like, don't keep restarting it. Let's disconnect that motor and take it out, because it was making a funny sound. So it's currently out of the machine, and we're running with one of the blowers on that side, which should be fine. That was a little scary. I should strap these down going forward. And I can feel pressure against my seat right now, so hopefully everything's cool. So we're running with one blower and capped off all of the wires. The other blower, the blower's out right now. That blower needs to be taken apart, and we need to see if it's a bearing issue or something else with the motor. Now that it's out, I can have somebody else work on it. Trying to figure out who that might be. Hopefully I'll be able to do that later today. So wish me luck. There's a lot to work on and not enough people to do it. And I'm not sure how I'm going to get through this. So your well wishes and prayers are much appreciated. Have a wonderful day.